Hey, it's Dan with Lano Equipment. Today we're going to talk about Metal Plus snow plows, specifically the PLS0830, which means it's a Plus Max, 8-inch wide main surface, 30 inches tall. Metal Plus has been around since 1976. They've been leading the market in snow plows. They've been kind of the innovator for hydraulic pushers and wing plows. Heavy steel, heavy hydraulic cylinders. It's a very robust piece of equipment here to help move snow. You can see all the different options that are going to happen with it. We'll show a bunch of different stuff, and we'll kind of talk about a couple different options that we can get with them. This one is actually kind of a little more plain because of the edge we have on it. We have a standard trip edge on it. There is another blade that we can get live edge, and actually have another one with the HD blade that trips up instead of back. But today we're going to focus on just the standard trip back one on here. So PLS0830 is actually hooked to Kubota SSV75 here today. We have to make sure we have a big enough machine to operate this as well. This is a 1,930 pound plow. You don't want to go over a 12,000 pound machine on it because then we get too aggressive on it. The PLS actually stands for PLOW Max. So Metal Plus and PLOW Max together. PLOW Max is good for 3 different machines. It's good on skid steers, smaller front end loaders, and on backhoes, as long as we have a skid steer attachment plate on them. Like I said earlier, this is actually an 8-foot main blade, 30-inch high, and it goes out to 13 feet total overall. The best part about having the different hydraulic cylinders and different connections on here to make sure we can run this all individual, we can change our wings to different directions. We have obviously set up right now as a plow box. We can go fully straight out. We can go different angles, and actually we can swing our wings out, one forward, one back at the same time if we want, as we're pulling back, going forward, or going at an angle as using an angle. Having that solid edge is nice to have on the pullback feature, so we don't have to worry about it tripping so much. Having all those different functions can all function from inside our cab, as long as we have the right pinning harness for our machine. We have a 14 pin on this one, hooks up, so everything's gonna work from our controls inside. Some of the front end loaders don't have quite that same setup. They do have an optional handle with buttons inside, so you can run it from there, or you can actually get a true handle, get hopefully wired right into your machine, so everything is on your hand for nice ease of use. With the Kubota machines, we have nice easy key start here. We already put our lap bars down. Most machines are gonna have a green button, or a go button as I like to call it. Engage that. Obviously we are hooked to hydraulic couplers, so we need to turn our flow on our machine. These are actually limited to 25 gallon per minute. So we want to make sure in most of our machines, we want to keep a standard flow. We don't want to use a high flow. We're gonna kind of do a couple different angles here. I'm gonna show you how all the buttons work on here, and then we'll show a different angle as it working. So we're gonna lift our blade up, which on an SJC machine or a pilot machine is usually a right handle. Our hydraulic on our right hand here is actually going to do my blade shift from left to right. Very easy. Don't even put much pressure on it. Makes it nice and easy. Set up in this Kubota on this one, we have to hit our left button over here, which is going to operate, change our flow toward left side wing. So we'll hold that one, we'll hit our left and right over on our right hand, which will go in and out of our blade. On the same left hand control on the joystick machine, there is your secondary one. Your secondary one here is now going to actuate our right wing on the right side of the blade. Go back to our right hand, and that runs our hydraulic wing in and out on that. Obviously we have our tilt, we have our up, down, have a lot of different options on here. Just so many different functions and ways we can move that. And those wings have a 90-degree angle in and a 90-degree angle back, angles left or right, to make sure we get out of our areas, or even pulling back to make sure we're getting away from our buildings. It's so nice to get really close to the building to pull that back, because that's usually the hardest part when we have in a machine. Again, obviously, same thing, we're going down to shutdown. We can turn the hydraulics off. We can just turn it down. Obviously, we're gonna put our blade back down on the ground and turn it off. And now we're good to go. Easy hookups. We have 2 hydraulic hookups out front that we'll show with our 14 pin connector on the Kubota. Undo those, take our quick attach, and we're out and away to put our bucket on or load up or whatever we need to do, or just put it away because we're finally done with snow for the winter. Same thing back on there. Pick into our quick attach, put our 14 pin back on, put our hydraulics back up, good to go. Hop back in the machine. It's time to move some snow. So we're going to show another angle of the controls just to see how everything is going on. So we have our machine up and running already. We'll hit our green button here for our go. We'll go down and turn our hydraulics on. So again, the pilot machine, pull here, pulls our blade up off the ground. Our top button on here, again, is going to do our angle on our blade. We'd have to come over to this side. Here again is our buttons. So if you hold the 1 and use your right button on the other side, you can do your left wing. You go to your number 2, you're going to engage your right wing. So holding that in your other hand just makes it a little difficult right now, so I have a camera in my hand, so we can only do 1 at a time. So hold that 1, go back over to this side. As you're holding that 1, you'd hit this. This would do your wing on your left. Change to your number 2 and hold that. Come back over and hit this. At the same time, we're gonna do our right. I know it seems almost like it's a lot going on at one time. Obviously, when you're on the fly, on the go, having both hands go at the same time works fast, easy to use. Like I said, all the extra functions are nice to get into those tight spots, big open spots. It's easy to get set up how you need to work best. Some people are going to wonder why this isn't taller. Well, 30 inches is a good height on almost any skid steer machine to make sure we can still see. That being said, sometimes we're going to get some snow that's going to come over top. Metal Plus has a nice protector on the backside here to make sure that we protect our electrical solenoids down here, which end up working our wings. Obviously, we have to have those so we can divert our hydraulic fluid to go to either our right wing or our left wing so we can get all our angles to get done with our job. So there's a lot of functions that go on with the Metal Plus PLOW. The good part is that there is not a whole lot to hook up for it. Obviously, we get our quick attach hooked up in there, and then we have the 2 hydraulic lines that go into our in and out, and then our electrical that's going to help divert it depending which cylinder we need to run out front. Make sure your salesman knows what machine you have. We can make sure it's compliant with your machine so that it hooks up, that all your function or your controls are going to work. Makes life a lot easier when you're out there moving snow, so everything is on your hands and don't have to have stuff, extra pieces out where you're trying to push. That was an overview of the Metal Plus PLS0830. Please make sure you go to Alano's websites and subscribe to other social media.